Hi, guys. Well, I'm going to do another eQuilter story time. I know we have many of our customers who are also musicians, and I thought today I'd tell you a little bit about our musical interests here and why we are so attached to making sure that we carry musical themed fabrics. So, you may know that I play cello. I was a music performance major at CU Boulder back in the late 70s. But actually, everybody in our family is a musician. And our daughter Sophie right now is she's just finished her sophomore year at CU Boulder as a music education major. And she's actually played violin since she was 4. There's another story there also. My mom is a pianist. My dad played guitar. My brothers played piano. And our kids all play instruments. The boys both play saxophone. And every one of our kids have dipped their toes in some kind of musical career, although right now Sophie's the one who's pursuing it directly. Anyway, so lately I will say that some of my favorite music, as I mentioned on the Wednesday morning newsletter, was salsa and opera. And actually, I have a friend who is an international opera singer who has kind of led me deeper into the world of opera. And you may see me post about that occasionally. I'm going to go see him perform next week. So music is one of those things that really brings creativity to us when we're in the studio. And I know that when I'm feeling kind of low energy or, the pandemic or the news has kind of got me down, which I'm sure has happened to you at some point over the last year or two, throwing on some music that I love is a great way to kind of get me into the mood or get me out of one mood and into another. And whether it's upbeat music or soulful or soothing music, music is a way for us to get in touch with our creativity. Well, this week we got back in stock some classical music fabrics, which I have behind me, and we're also posting a link to those fabrics. And so for those of you who are interested in more classical music, or maybe you know somebody who's a musician, I will tell you that these fabrics come in and out. I mean, it's really hard to stock them these days, especially with the supply chain issues. So we stock them heavily, we reorder them if we can, but sometimes it's what they call in the industry one and done. So you'll see we have the cello and the violin, and we have saxophones and French horns and pianos here. We've got a really great piano key stripe in stock right now. So all of you who are perhaps looking to buff up your stash with some music-themed fabrics, now is a great time. I want to also tell you another story, and this kind of leads to why my 2 boys were encouraged to consider saxophone when they were choosing their instruments. So here in Colorado, in 5th grade, when the kids are about 10 years old, they have a chance to choose to start a musical instrument as part of the public school program. That's how I got started, and that's how all of my kids got started. Well, we have a story in our family, in my side of the family. My grandpa, who was born in 1899, when he was a teenager, he saved up his money and he bought a C melody saxophone, and he was self-taught, and he ended up playing in a jazz band in the 20s. How cool is that? Paul's dad also played trumpet, and he played during World War II in Europe. And I guess he must have played reveille, maybe tap, something like that. So there's a lot of history of music in our family, and we all, we've collected, cassette tapes, and then it was CDs, and of course now we have a family plan for streaming music because we all share this very deep love of music. We also support some music education programs here locally, and our local Boulder Philharmonic, excuse me. And in fact, tonight is a fundraiser, and I had donated some images that were turned into canvas paintings to be auctioned off tonight at the fundraiser. So that's kind of fun. There are photos that I took on my 3 trips to Cuba. And again, I'll just remind you to take a look at the Creative Nudge newsletter that we sent out this week a couple days ago. And if you want to read more about Cuba and see some of those fabrics and those Cuban images, there are links to all of my photos from my trips to Cuba. My next trip, you may know, is taking a group of people up to Churchill in northern Manitoba in Canada to photograph and hang out with polar bears out on the tundra. And I think we might have a couple more spaces still. We're trying to fill up the whole bus. The bus holds 16 people, and we have 12 or 14 people so far. All quilters. I think there's one husband so far. So we can use another couple. So if you want to bring your husband or your partner, or maybe your son or your daughter along, we'd love to have you. Anyway, I'm going to go listen to some music on my way home, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. And if you have some musical stories that you'd like to share with us, drop us an email or make comments on one of our social media platforms where this is streaming. And we always get a kick out of hearing back from you, some of these interests that we share. So have a great weekend. Oh, yeah, and I'm just going to mention that tomorrow I'm driving up to Lincoln, Nebraska. Some of you may know Donna Wilder, who is the founder of Free Spirit Fabrics. She has retired and she lives here in Boulder now. And she's going to be my sidekick. She's going to be riding shotgun with me. And we're going to zip up there to Lincoln, Nebraska tomorrow. And we're attending a VIP 25th anniversary event. And actually, I'm giving a lecture for CQC, which is the Colorado Quilt Council. I'm their monthly speaker, but I'm going to be doing it from the museum. So if you go to the CQC site and you look for the Zoom link, if you're interested, if you live here in Colorado, for sure you should check it out. But you can watch my talk about, actually it's a PowerPoint talk with lots of images about quilt trends, international quilt trends, and I'll be showing lots of images of quilts. And that's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Central Time, which is where I'll be. That's good because I'm going to Central Time. I can sleep a little later. Haha. So welcome. I hope that some of you, at least those of you in Colorado, can watch that. And I will be speaking to you from the museum, which I think is kind of cool. And thank you to my friends at the museum for hosting me. Okay, wish me safe travels tomorrow, and I'll be in touch with you next week when I get back. Bye-bye.